I'll play a new Trump ad that is exposing the rhetoric from the left. Here it is.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Listen to this cackle.
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school, I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish. I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
That you cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
President Walker, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
When they go low, we kick.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible. That's where we are. And who's at fault, Glenn, for all of these, the actual violence that's happening? It's not the Democrats, of course. Listen to this.
This really seems to be the confluence of two very bad things going on in the Republican Party. On one side, the attempts to divide, to enrage the population, to put out false rumors and misinformation. We know the mayor in Springfield is begging the Republican Party to stop with the false information on immigrants. They have portions of the town on lockdown at this point, and an increase in all of the partisanship and the fear-mongering that's going on. And then on the other side, we have this complete availability of assault rifles to, it seems, almost anyone who wants to have access.
Oh, my God. Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I just... First of all, how are you blaming the bomb threats on Trump when we now know it's been confirmed all of those came from foreign sources outside the country?
At least they were all hoaxes, most of them apparently from outside the country.
Okay. So that's really, I'm having a hard time with that. The assault rifle thing, for the love of Pete, why are you concentrating on that? Why aren't you asking the question, he was arrested and charged with possession of a weapon of mass destruction. Okay? That's the left's way of saying he had a machine gun. So if you have a weapon of mass destruction, I would think that you'd go to prison for a very long time. I know if I had an illegal machine gun and I wasn't waving it around or doing anything, I just owned one, I would probably go to jail for 20 years, to prison, because I think that's what the penalty is. Why is there zero record of him going to prison? Why? You don't talk to me about taking all the machine guns. He didn't buy it. He didn't go and buy it from a store. He had already had gun charges, but there's no record of him spending any time in jail. What is that? How did that happen? If that's not a Jeffrey Epstein kind of question, I don't know. How does this guy just keep doing this and then it just goes into a memory hole and he never serves any time? What the hell is that? Now, I'm not suggesting that, he's like Jeffrey Epstein. Was killed by the elites on the left, but
breaking news.
I'm not suggesting that he was a spy, but I mean, he might have been. He had to be on the CIA's radar. Had to have been. I mean, he was praising the Ayatollahs in Iran. He tweeted, "You have my permission now to kill Donald Trump." How did he not have an FBI guy go into his house? I mean, if you say something like, "We should meet to pray in front of an abortion clinic," you're in prison. But you have my permission now to kill the president of the United States? Huh. No prison time after you've had gun charges, after you've been, charged and convicted of having a weapon of mass destruction. What? It seems to me that we're really missing some logic here. First of all, how could Donald Trump's own rhetoric get him killed? That's some bad rhetoric, really.
It's the same
if
time,
you're
Glenn,
ratcheting up the rhetoric and you are the target by your own supporter, which, by the way, is not the case. The guy gave 15 times to the Democratic Party and Act Blue. So, I mean, the guy is a Democrat through and through.
I think, Glenn, it's the same logic that applies to turning a new page and finding a new way forward with the current vice president. If that works in your head, then all this stuff works.
Exactly right. Tulsi Gabbard is with us. Hey, Tulsi, how are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late.
No, not a problem. We were just talking about how we find unity and how we reason with people who are really at a place to where they're saying the problem is Donald Trump's rhetoric. He brought this upon himself, or it is it's the problem is that you can just go in and buy a gun. The guy was convicted of owning a fully automatic machine gun. They called it in court a weapon of mass destruction. He had several gun charges. He didn't go into a store and buy it legally. And if he did, where was the breakdown? And we can't find any record of him going to prison. When your logic is, will not allow any facts in, how do we change people's minds? How do we reunite?
Yeah, Glenn, it really is about people who are reasonable, people who have common sense, people who can see clearly, continuing to speak the truth and point out how dangerous and insightful their rhetoric is, and how even as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and other influential people in the Democratic Party, they say the words unity. They say there is no place for political violence in our country, and yet their actions and their insightful rhetoric has the exact opposite effect and consequence. When we hear people like Kamala Harris call for unity, while at the same time she and her surrogates and those in the Democrat elite are over and over again calling President Trump the most dangerous threat to our democracy, some saying that he is the modern-day Hitler. I saw this morning David Plouffe, who is on Kamala Harris's campaign team, who is on President Obama's campaign team and presidency, saying that Donald Trump and his kind must be gotten rid of, period, never to rise to power again. They have this sense of so-called righteous justification for their rhetoric, which it should be no surprise then to those who are listening to them, who feel that they must take action for the quote-unquote greater good, to do what this guy tried to do the other day, to do what the guy in Butler, Pennsylvania tried to do. As long as they continue this, and as you said, even on the day of, within minutes of this assassination attempt that happened in Florida the other day, we saw some of the most influential Democrats continue this insightful rhetoric. So those of us who cherish and love and appreciate our country and our democracy and peace, we have to keep on speaking the truth and speaking about reason and common sense and pointing them out for what they are doing and how dangerous the consequences are. Their hypocrisy is so glaring to call for unity, while at the same time, Hillary Clinton calling anyone who voted for Donald Trump the deplorables. We had people on MSNBC the other day saying that every single voter and supporter of Donald Trump is despicable. This kind of rhetoric is what is dividing our country and can lead to a very dangerous place.
So I believe that there are millions of good Democrats that love the country, want to do the right thing. They may not like Donald Trump, and they may not agree with all of their policies, but that's where you and Bobby Kennedy and Alan Dershowitz, all of these icons. I mean, you ran for president for the Democrats. All of the icons of the Democratic Party. It's not that you are coming out and saying, you know what, I just woke up and I just think all of Trump's policies are just the very best. I wouldn't change a thing. You actually, correct me if I'm wrong, are saying there's some things that I really like, but I cannot vote for these people. I have to vote for this because this party has become so dangerous. Am I right?
You are right, and quite frankly, that really speaks to the very clear choice and the different mindset that exists between these two candidates, President Trump and Vice President Harris, who are running for president, and those who are supporting them. There are those of us who stand with President Trump because we recognize that in this election, he is our best hope to preserve freedom, to work our way towards peace and prosperity. And Kamala Harris guarantees the exact opposite of those things. And this is not my opinion. It's the proof can be found in her record. And we look at the reaction that's held. For example, there's a very famous actress who, in this past week, expressed some appreciation and empathy for Melania Trump, former First Lady Melania Trump, in her very heartfelt video about what she went through and what it was like for her and her family to see her husband almost assassinated. And this very famous actress felt for her and her feelings and was excoriated by Hollywood and by the propaganda media. How dare she express empathy for this woman whose husband was almost killed, almost shot in the face? And kudos to this actress for not backing down and simply saying, what are we as a country when you have people who are eager to celebrate the death of another human being? And that's how sick their mindset is. When we heard people after Butler, Pennsylvania saying, oh, well, too bad the shooter missed. Be a better shot next time. This is who these people are. And it speaks to how they see our country, how they see the American people, how they see the world. We don't want these people anywhere near the levers of power, anywhere near being in a position where you're making decisions about life and death for Americans or people in the world. There's a huge difference in that mindset. These people are motivated by hate and fear of losing power. And what I've seen and experienced, I've been to a number of rallies these last few days. I've been around a lot of Americans who are motivated by love of our country.
Are you seeing Democrats?
I was in Arizona the other day. The other day with Bobby Kennedy. We had a great event, the first one of our Reclaim America tour. I asked the audience, raise your hand if you're a Democrat or a former Democrat, and almost half the hands in that audience went straight up in the air. Excellent.
Tulsi, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Everything you're doing. Thank you for taking the risk.